Boom, boom. All right, hey. What up, what up, what up? Sweet, sweet. What's going down? Going live. Hopefully I remember to turn everything on. I think Mel's watching football tonight. Hey, Mally's up in here. Come here. Come say hi. Come here. Got little Mally up in here. And come say hi tonight. Look. Look. We're going live. Alright. So hopefully nothing goes wrong. Because I think Mel's watching. Okay. Can you guys hear me alright? Give me a thumbs up. Because I did the setup today. So let's see. Glad you guys are here. I know it's Monday Night Football, and I know there's a game starting right now. So thanks for hanging out for Moto night. When there's
Please let me help you.
Up, here she comes.
You got like the door in the shot. Like, do you see the whole side? This is the last time I let you.
Yeah.
Like do this up. Yourself.
She's.
And you're so bright. Oh my goodness.
I gotta mute this thing. I know. I'm getting amateur hour over here.
Oh my gosh.
How do you mute it again? All right. Can you guys hear me? Thumbs up. Thumbs up.
I just need you to not touch anything. Don't touch anything.
All right. Let's see who we got up in here.
Stop touching. You need to get some.
Saul. We got. Is that how you say that? Saul. Saul XS. Salas.
I don't know. Hold on. Stop touching.
And we got Adam. We got Big Mike from Jersey, from Millville. We got Nick.
Let's see what Adam has to say.
Ronnie and Mel for president. Oh, Mel's popping up. She thinks that's funny.
Ronnie and Mel 2024.
So we got Big Mike from Jersey. Got Nick. How's the bike? My bike's good. We got Tommy Shea. Off work. Yeah, baby. Coming to hang out. We got Monroe. What up, dude? All right, Mel's here. Well, she's in the room, but she's here. I thought you were going to do football tonight. Didn't know you were hanging.
Multitasking.
All right, she's with us. Brian's here. What up, dude?
We all know
got Brian here. Big Feist is here. Nobody. Let's get nobody up there, dude. You somebody. Don't even act like it. We got Kyle. What up? Sweet. All right. I'm glad everybody's here hanging. So how's everybody's week? We got Howard up in here. We got Kush Smoke Gun. Trent, what up, Trent? Big Trent's in here. Yeah, I gotta hit you up, dude. I need to hit you up tomorrow morning. Just got back in town. I had I had squirrely service out at the where was I? Oklahoma. Out in the boonies, dude. I don't know if anybody's ever been to Robbie Smith's training place, but it is deep. Ain't nothing out there where it's at, but it's pretty sweet. But anyway, so how's the week? What is new? What's going down? So obviously we wrapped it up. We got the last of the Nationals was on Saturday. And cool to see Osborne take his first 450 title. And then Ferrandez took the 250. I wish somebody else would have, but hey, we'll still give him some love because it's not easy to win a title. So we'll give him some shout outs for hard work and finishing hard and strong all year. What else went down? Went to motocross camp for 3 days. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday was out in Oklahoma for FCA. And it was really good. Actually had forgot my helmet, huh? Wait, she's got to get the, what do we call that? The backdrop? No, not the backdrop. We got to get it in there. There we go. All right, I'm slacking.
Wait, it's like two.
Well, we had Thomas out there. So Thomas was out there. He was at our September class, and he came out to FCA, hung out with us. It was cool. Hey, quit messing, dude. So got to work with him some more, and then just tons of riders from as small as 50s all the way up to big bikes. And this was a family camp. Normally it's just more geared towards the kids, but this is the first time they did it with families. So the moms and dads were allowed to camp out, allowed to ride in the session. So it was cool. And then you get you get Bible time, you get prayer time, you get a small group time, worship time, and it was sweet. Got to hang out I was with the old guys. They put me with the older dudes. So hang out with the 40 plus class. So it was pretty sweet. So it was good times, and got some riding in. And I got to go on a trail ride, which I don't get to do often. And I love the woods because back in Jersey where I grew up, there was tons of wood, and I used to ride the trails quite a bit. Then lived in Cali for 20 years, and ain't no trees. So our trail, we used to ride trails, but it was way different than the East Coast trails. But I got to ride some Oklahoma trails. And I'm hoping I got some GoPro cam footage, but for some reason, the next morning when I went to turn it on to go ride the track, I noticed it was on photos, and I'm like, dude, I hope I didn't take 500 photos of the trees, and I got some video of the woods, but I haven't checked it out yet. But hopefully I got a little bit of footage. He's got 4 different tracks down there. He's got a little sand track, 3 different moto tracks, and the trees. So I filmed three of the motor tracks and the woods, hopefully. So try to get up a little raw GoPro footage and just throw up on the page. But got a video coming out hopefully on Wednesday, and I think it'll be just another how-to. And then got a riding video coming out on the following week that we went and filmed at Midwest Extreme right before I took off. So looking forward to getting all those out for you guys. But then other than that, we got the merch in. Super pumped on that. It's here, but it's not available on the site yet because I spent the day today trying to... Last week I got it right before I left. Went through, counted everything, folded everything, got everything up on the racks. Then I had to leave for 4 days. And I just got back, and today I spent a day... actually went and picked up the hats and then spent a day rebuilding the website. So it's not done yet. So as soon as it's done, I'll do a post and let everybody know. But it's in. It's one of our new ones. And the prints are way better. Way better. Our hoodies are like 10 times better. They're so much better. We went from like lightweights to heavyweights. And all our prints are just way brighter. Our colors are way better. Quality is way better. Everything's just big jump up. So I'm super pumped to get that on the site for you guys. So this week, big week here in KC. We got Twitch is in town. Tyler Bierman's in town. Cole Seeley's in town. Vicky Golden's in town. There's a whole ton of people in town because there's a Red Bull event going on this week. I don't know if you guys have been seeing the post, but they're doing a big free ride event out here in somewhere secret. It's a secret spot nobody's supposed to know. It's out in Kansas. So I'm going to try to sneak out there tomorrow and check out these guys practicing. But I think they're being pretty tight about who comes out. I don't even think they're opening it to the public. I think it's going to be hard to even watch the event. Even for me, Twitch is saying they're being super strict. So I don't know. I'm going to try to just go out and check out some practice and just say what up to all the boys. And then we got the Deegans coming in town too. Haley's racing on Friday, so Deegan's coming in town on Wednesday. And we're all going to dinner, so it's been good to hang out. I think it's the first time that we get all of us, like me, my wife, his wife, him, his daughter, all of us together to go out for dinner. So we've been friends for years, but I don't think that all of us have been able, like me and my wife. So it's always like me and him, or me and his wife, or my wife and him. We never really got everyone together. So looking forward to Wednesday night, hanging out with the Deegans. And then I'm going to go, I got a class coming up this weekend. And so what I'm going to do, because she's racing Friday night, I'm going to try to get to the track really early, soak it down, which is good because there's a cold front coming through, so it shouldn't dry out. And then doing it at Visor again, because Green Valley's racing this weekend. And then it's only like 10 minutes up the road from where the Speedway is. So I'm going to swing by the Speedway on the way home, check her out, and see how she's doing in her race. And then Saturday morning, I'll be back out at the track, doing the R from X class. And then we got the next one is, let's get it up here for you guys, November 14th, and we still got some spots left. So this, I'm feeling like this is going to be the last one here in the Midwest. So if anybody's looking to do some moto training here in the Midwest, or if you're close to the area, go to, let me see, I'm going to get it popped up. Go to Ronnie Faisst. Go to RonnieFaistMX.com. All the info is there. You can get signed up. And like I said, I think that's going to be the last one. I'm thinking about taking December off. Like I was kind of up in the air. Should I do one? Should I not? And I'm thinking now we got everything going on, because now that we're getting RFMX done, we're going to switch gears and bring Mark in-house too. So we're going to be running 2 clothing companies. And we got to go to Florida to see my grandmother. So I'm thinking, and that's gonna be a long trip. We were planning on driving, but now I'm talking about maybe flying, because it's for the sake of time, because we can't give up like 4 days just in Oklahoma, and then if we drive to the East Coast, it's gonna take a week, and we don't really have a week to spare. So thinking this next 2 months is going to be crazy with everything, trying to get everything done, and holidays coming. So might take December off, and then hopefully if we can work out the bikes, the plan is to be out in California January, February, and March, and then kick it back off here in the spring for the good weather. But that is what's going down with us for the last week. And if you're brand new here, thanks for hanging out here with us tonight. We do this every Monday night, 7 p.m. Talk about moto, talk about training, talk about bike setup, freestyle, track, whatever. Whatever you guys want to talk about, let's jump in. If you have a question, just throw the question marks up on the comments so I can kind of scroll through and separate questions from comments. But I usually go to the top and try to get everybody in. If I miss your question, throw it up again. I'm sure Mel will come up here and say, hey, you missed somebody. She's good at doing that. But yeah, I'm just seeing some people all the way from Australia. You got Power Up Coaching from Australia. What's up, brother? That's cool. We got Dan Bede. This is another student I worked with out in California. We got him. Police officer too. So a little shout out to the Blue representing. Gave me a little. I got it with the little coin you gave me. I got that up in my. I have a bunch of coins that people have given me. So it's up in the office with all my stuff. So thanks for the gift at the last California class. Looking forward to seeing you again when we're out there. We got Brian. We got a lot of people in here. Looks like we got a lot of new people. Oh, so Trent here. All right, here's the first question. This is Trent, and me and Trent are doing some stuff together right now. He's gonna be working on some new RFMX designs. So be calling you tomorrow, dude. I got some ideas. Sorry for the delay, but I will be in touch with you tomorrow. All right, he says, were you able to share your testimony? And I was, and it was unexpected because normally they tell me in advance, hey, this is going to be the schedule. We're going to have you share your testimony here. But this camp was a little bit different than the other camps I've been to. And I wasn't expecting to share my testimony, but I woke up one morning and very last minute, they're like, hey, can you share your testimony? I was like, sure. So I jumped in there and I shared my testimony. During before we even went out on track. Mally's sneaking back in here. So it was the first thing in the morning and went good. And if you guys haven't heard my testimony, you want to check it out, go to Ronnie and Mel right here on YouTube, and it's on there. It's called From Moto to Ministry, and you can check it out. You can hear the whole story. But I gave him the short version for the sake of time, little mini Devo time. So we got High Vision says, I missed the gold tooth, Kung Fu. That's sweet. I know I should bring it back, huh? All right, so let's get Howard up here. Hey. He says, how about Brian Deegan racing at Paula and winning a moto? Really happy to see him racing again. Are you still considering racing? That's cool. I just saw that too, that he raced, and he's saying he raced the pro class. And he said he got a moto win, so that's pretty good. If you can jump right back in I know it's not the pro national, but I'm assuming the A class at the local race. Hey, that's pretty good because there's fast local guys. So hey, shout out to Brian that he still got the speed and the endurance to go out there and win the A class. I was thinking he was going to hit me back and say the plus 40 class because that's what I thought he would have been racing. So I think that's pretty cool. And yes, I'm still considering it, but dude, I'm not going to lie. I don't know. Well, I know what I did to my knee because you guys probably heard Matt was clowning me last Moto Monday, but I hurt my knee seriously doing jumping jacks in the basement. And it's been jacked up ever since. I rode down in Oklahoma, but every time I ride, it just puffs up super, like balloon status. So I didn't twist it or nothing, but I definitely aggravated it. But I kind of need to get it to stop doing what it's doing because I just limp around and it's been terrible. So I want to get the knee back in action before I jump out there. So I'm not going to ride it all this week. Just going to wait until the class this weekend. So hopefully it feels good. He says, and this is from High Vision, says, are you on good terms with Larry Linko? And yes, me and Larry Linko have never had an issue ever. I've known Larry since I moved to California, did the very first Warped Tour with him. Obviously, he was the owner of the Metal Militia. And me and Larry never had problems. Him and Brian had a little bit of stuff going on, and Larry just kind of disappeared, to be honest with you, and nobody really saw the dude for years. And then he kind of popped back up, but when he popped back up, he was always like, "Hey, what up, Feist?" He was always cool to me. I was always cool to him. And but then he disappeared again, and nobody ever see him again. And I haven't seen him in a while. But when we do see each other, me and Larry never had problems, and we've always respected each other. So I would say we're always been on good terms. And his son's super cool. I see his son out there. I seen him the last time I was hanging out at Matto's house. His son's all grown up now, looks just like him. And, you know, he's super respectful and nice every time I see him. So, got no issues with the Link Kogels. I don't really have issues with anybody, to be honest. I like to get along with everybody. I don't like to have problems with people. I like to just be friends, you know? A lot easier in life when you get along with people. All right, so we get Brian up in here. It says, my brother-in-law, Jake, got third in the plus 35 and plus 40, and he's on an 03 Honda. Nice, dude. So Brian, he was out ripping Grain Valley this past week in racing, so that's sweet. Congrats to the boys out there tearing it up. And my voice is a little jacked up, if you can tell, because I've been yelling over dirt bikes all weekend. So a little raspy right now. All right, so I'm just looking. All right, here we go. Looking for some question marks. It's from Brent. He says, when you do a double grab in the KOD position, is it a double grab kiss of death or scorpion? So wait a second, I got a picture of what you're saying. When you do a double grab in the KOD position, is it a double grab kiss of death or a scorpion? So I know what you're saying. So you're saying when you jump back and do a double grab, seat grab, but your feet are like a kiss of death. And so what would you call that? A double grab kiss of death or scorpion? I mean, you could it wouldn't be a kiss of death. It'd be a double grab because you'd be holding on to the seat. So you could call it a scorpion, or a lot of times we'll just be like, yo, that's a big double grab. Or you can call it scorpion, either or. But it wouldn't be called a kiss of death because a kiss of death you got to hold on. You got to stay on the bars for it to be a real kiss of death. But I know what you're saying though. Double grab kiss. Yeah, I got you. Go with scorpion. That'd be probably closer. But they look sick. There's probably one of the coolest tricks out there. Big old double grabs. All right, so we're just cruising through. Somebody's saying what kind of payout. So we got Cool Cat here. I don't even know, to be honest with you. He said, I just noticed this was a question. It says, what kind of payout is out west in the 30 and 40 A class? I have no idea. But a lot of times, from just what I see, a lot of people pay like 100% of what they sign up, or sometimes 200%. So whoever signs up for the class, whatever it's brought in, they'll either give it all back or sometimes they'll double it. That's what I've seen a lot. So I would assume they probably at least do that. But I'm not 100% sure. I've never even raced those classes when I lived out there. Got Trent again. Oh, he said, talking to Mel. She's doing good. She's hanging. It says, what size and model is that Fox helmet? Give it to me. Just playing. Still looking for a helmet. Hey, I reckon that this is the brand new one. So this one's called the V3. And I mean, I got a little head, so it's actually a medium, which is weird. I've been wearing smalls and extra smalls my whole career, but I fit better in a medium Fox helmet. So, but the visor comes off, which I think is really cool with these new Fox helmets. It's magnetic. So if you take a hard hit, this thing will blow right off, which is kind of cool. So instead of your neck going back, because think about that, if your visor's on, you catch your head, it's going to rip your head back. This will pull right off. So I think that's awesome that you have a helmet that will eject the visor. But I don't know if you guys can see. Can you guys see? Can't even see, huh? It has these little water deals in here. It's got these little cushions that are filled full of water. So it's got like the technology of it's pretty sick. It's high tech. Dude, it's like I don't know what it is. It's at least $500-$600 helmets. It's pretty expensive, but I think it's worth spending money on a helmet just because it's your head. So I would recommend that helmet to anyone. I feel super comfortable and confident in it. And at the end of the day, Fox has been around for a very long time. They make really, in my opinion, some of the best stuff out there, if not the best stuff. So definitely a good helmet to consider for sure. And Mel will probably throw up the link if anybody wants to check it out. She's good at that. All right, so hey, let's get Tommy up here. A little super chat, a little love. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the support from Tommy Boy, giving us some super chat love. All right. All right, so he says, hey, bro. From Kyle says, hey, bro, been ripping my restored 1998 KX250. Hitting jumps again. Problem with the front end and high even with brake taps, any tips? So God bless you and Mel. Amen. He's good all the time. So I'm believing he's saying I'm jumping the bike, but the front end's coming up too high, and I'm using and any tips with the brake taps. Here's what I say about brake taps. I say don't use the brake taps unless you have to. Emergency only. Don't get in the habit of jumping, hitting the rear brake to get the front end down. You should be able to jump the jump and rotate the bike to the front end down with technique and body position. So if your front end's too high, most likely you're just leaning back too far forward off the lip. So just adjust your weight, lean more forward. You can get really far forward when you take off a jump. Think about it like the transition is gonna be like this. So you wanna rotate the bike like this. If your front end's up like this, it's gonna slap down the trailer. You might even pull the bars out of your hand. So lean forward. You can still be aggressive on the gas and lean forward. Because some people say, oh, I think I'm getting on the gas too hard because I'm looping out. Like, dude, no way. Like, you look how aggressive the top dudes go. It goes about as aggressive as you can get, and they're not looping out. Why? Because their weight's forward. So just get a little bit more forward, and I guarantee you that front end will come down. Can never be too aggressive, boy. All right, so you got Anthony up here. He says, how did you feel when you first found out that you were going to be in a Crusty Demons? This is funny because I feel like I just was telling a little bit of this story when I share my testimony. My first video was Moto XXX, and I had that opportunity to film in between Budds Creek's National and Southwick's National. It's when Deegan came and stayed at my house when I still lived in New Jersey. Young buck, I was 20 years old. And I was so pumped. I wasn't even in a Crusty video yet. I was just so pumped I was going to be in Moto XXX. First time I got to film. So I was amped. I was so pumped that I packed the bags and moved out to California with Deegan, moved in with him. And then that's how I met Dana Nicholson and John Freeman through Deegan and Metzger and all those guys. And then I started riding for those guys. They had Flesh Wound Films, and they started Flesh Gear. So I began riding for Flesh Gear, and I got invited on all the trips because I was wearing their gear. Worked out pretty sweet. Became really good friends with those guys. And then the first Crusty video I believe I was in was the third one because I missed the first one. I remember being home watching Seth go nuts in that video thinking, dude, this looks crazy. And then right when I got to California, I moved there. The second one had just premiered. I went to the premiere with Deegan. And then I got the film for that whole next year I filmed. And then that very next year, the third one came out. I actually think I was on the cover. I think it was called Crusty 2000. I think I was on the cover doing a Cordova. So pretty cool. I was hyped, super hyped. That was some of the funnest stuff ever. I've like the best memories of touring around the world just making motocross videos. It was so fun. Got to go places I probably would have never went and probably never go again. I remember they took me to Peru one year. It was crazy, but it was sweet. Some of the best food I ever had in Peru. You never think they had good food, but it was awesome. But really cool. Them dudes are cool guys. Big shout out to the Flesh Wound Film crew for just kind of putting me on the map, taking me under their wing and bringing me around the country when, you know, this whole thing was just kind of taking off. Timing, a lot of things in life is really the timing of things. And I couldn't have moved to California in a better time. I moved there in the very early stages of the free ride movement. And the freestyle scene hasn't even took off yet. It was the free ride movement that kind of, and then the freestyle thing came out of the free ride movement. But it was like the Crusty Demons of Dirt, the Moto XXX. And then out of that, a couple of those dudes start doing tricks. And then that birthed freestyle motocross, first Warped Tour, first X Games. And I already moved to California a whole year before that started. So I had a year there meeting everyone and getting my foot kind of in the door with everyone that I met. Everybody was super cool. And then boom, right when the first contest came around, I was already kind of knew everyone. So it worked out perfect. Timing. Good timing. All right, so we got Brian here. He says, my goal at the end of the year is to get a bike and start riding. Any advice for someone starting out late in the game? I mean, as far as like getting like what bike to start on or just starting in general, I would say here, first thing I say, obviously get a bike that it's not too much bikes for you. Like obviously starting with a 450 is usually probably too aggressive for most people. So find a nice bike, 250F. I don't know how big you are, but maybe find something that's simple, easy. Maybe even, I don't know, a lot of people like two strokes, maybe a 250 two stroke, 125 two stroke, depending on, you know, what's your size. And so that's probably a good place to start. But I would say get coaching. If there's a coach around you, that you can get to them and get in this class, learn from them. And I've been trying to put up these little videos. I just started, so hopefully over the next couple months, I'll have more videos online that can help guys like you. Like I just did a video, how to ride a dirt bike with a clutch. Really basic. Someone has never even rode a dirt bike, just kind of get going. And now we're doing, this week will be how to jump. We're just talking about the basic jump. It's not even it's not like I'm jumping some big, huge double in the video. I'm doing this little basic single just to help people get started, just like you. I want to be able to, if someone comes to the page, I want them, they've never rode a dirt bike or they're interested in getting into it or thinking about, they can come here, get some tips that'll help them get started. But coaching, you can never go wrong with coaching. And other than that, if there's no coaching in your area, and I would just say, hey, and you're just getting started, find a nice, open, safe place to ride. Nice open field, no trees around, and just go slow, dude. Just cruise it. And cruise around, get comfortable, and then once you get comfortable, find a nice track. If you want to go ride moto, that has like a vet track, and then you don't have to go out on the main track when there's a lot. If there's a vet track, it's always usually a little bit easier than the main track, and they're fun. I actually like riding the vet track. But yeah, start on the basic stuff and just cruise and have fun. But body positioning and fundamentals is key. So that's to be the most important thing for you is right off the bat, learn the basic fundamentals of where you should be on the bike, throttle, clutch control. But body position is everything. Because think about this, you're in control of the bike. You command the bike to do what you want it to do. So if you tell the bike to do something, but you're in the wrong position, it can do something you don't want it to do. But if you're in the right position, the bike will do what you want to do. So that's why we want to be in control. We want to command the bike to do what we want. We want to be the initiator of things. We don't want to have to ride like defensive to where we're just reacting to everything that the bike's doing, because that, in a sense, is the bike's kind of riding us around the track. We want to tell the bike what to do. We want to initiate everything that we are doing out there. Obviously, there's going to be times the bike does something unexpected and you got to react to it. But we don't want that to be 95% of the way around the track, is just reacting to the bike. All right, so we got another super chat from Adam. So a big shout out for Adam for showing some love. He said, hey, bud, here's a 20 because Twitch is ugly. I'm going to tell him, hold on. Oh, I didn't bring my phone in here. Oh, wait, here it is. Let me get a shot of this so I can text it to him. I'm like, yo, dude, check this out. People showing me some love because you ugly. I'll give him the $20 tomorrow. Sweet. That's funny. All right, he says, all right, let's get Tommy Boy. He says, have you ever went to do a trick in midair and change your mind? Yes, sir. All right, so this is, and I think many people have done this. And I've done it on tricks. Obviously, this happens all the time. It's not like sometimes you coming up, this is the deal. You need to pick your trick. I learned this pretty well. Pick your trick long before, like when you make the turn and you're lining up for ramp. You should already know what you're doing. Don't come up the ramp and try to be in between. Should I do this, do that, because that's where you can get yourself in trouble. Thinking of too much stuff. Know your trick when you make the turn. As soon as you head for the ramp, you already know what you're doing. But yes, remember, if you ever seen me in 2006 try 360 for the first time, there you go. All right, I was halfway around and I had to change my mind and back out, land it backwards. So that was pretty gnarly. But in general, there's been plenty times that sometimes you just brain fart and you're like, oh, and you just lock up. So it happens. I think everyone goes through it. This is what I've learned. The more you think about the trick, the more you can almost mess up the trick. You have to almost be like, it needs to be muscle memory. Don't let the mind get so much in the way. Like, just trust that you know the trick. Make the turn, call the trick, and go. And then boom, let your body do it. If you're coming up to the ramp and you overthink it, it's so easy to mess a trick up by just letting your mind get in the way. It's funny. I've always been a fan of Bruce Lee, and Bruce Lee used to say, "Empty your mind," and he talked about that, having to where it was always like. It wasn't, you had to think about it, it just happened because you've done it so many times that you didn't overthink it. Your mind can get in the way. And he talked a lot about that in martial arts. And it makes sense in martial arts as well. All right, so I could probably tell you a couple more stories about those not committing to tricks and crashing. All right, so let's get Monroe here. What's your top 3 racers? Man, that's a good question. Top 3 racers. So are we talking new school or old school? So if we're going new school, I'm going, hey, I've really taken a liking to Cinderella ever since Mel started like hyping him up, and I started really just watching him. So Cinderella for sure, Sexton for sure, and Roxon. I'm not, obviously we haven't been watching him because he hasn't been riding outdoor, but I still like Roxon. I know he's not been in the mix much with the injuries and stuff, but I pick guys by like the way I like to ride, regardless if they're on the podium every weekend or not. I don't go with the guy who's just winning every weekend. I like, obviously, because Osborne's been dominating all year and he's not my favorite guy. But I like, and Tomac dominated for years. He's never been my favorite guy. I like those smooth, calculated, effortless looking guys. And Roxon has that style, Sexton has that style, and so does Cinderella. So they're my 3 favorite tops. But here's the deal. This is so funny that I actually really like watching Anderson ride, even though he's like the complete opposite style, but he's just a fun dude to watch. Anderson's cool to watch. So anyway, they're my picks. Oh, Mel's thrown up. Thanks. I told you. And if I was to go old school, I'll go Ricky Johnson, David Bailey, and hey, Ron Lachine was had that same style as David Bailey. So we'll throw Lachine in there, just because I think he's cool. Because I used to see him out of Paulie when I lived in Cali, still ripping. So I think that's sweet that guys like will be in their like 50s still ripping dirt bikes. So hopefully I can still ride when I'm 50. Also, here we go. Someone's saying Matasevich. So Cool Cat saying Matasevich was out there. Were you talking about out there with Deegan? That's pretty cool. So Matasevich used to come out and do the surfer cross and race. So I actually got to race him a couple times. He's fast, dude. All the old racers are fast. Emig used to come out and do surfer cross. I raced him. He's super fast. Can't even see him for more than like 3 turns. He's gone. So fast. McGrath still rides super fast. All those dudes. Deegan's always been fast. He's always had racing skills. All right, so let's see. Anybody else? What do we got here? Oh, here we go. We got Curtis here. Let's see. All right. It says, I've seen a lot of coaches teaching feet on the pegs in corners versus bringing the leg out. What's your take on that? I worked with corners a lot at Grand Valley Saturday. Bloss was there flying. I think it's a great technique. Here's the deal. I think you need to have the ability to be up on the pegs, balls of the feet, and ride the corner standing up, especially in the ruts. A lot of times in the ruts, if you can't take them all the way standing up, which it's like this. It's not like every turn's going to work for that technique, but you need to have that technique in your belt so when it does work, you can do it. But it's not like every time you come into the rut now you're going to stand up all the way through it, because that's just not the case. But a lot of times you'll stand up longer in the rut, then sit. That's another technique that worked really good. So you got to have the ability to stand up all the way through it. You have to have the ability to stand up later and have the ability to sit down and take it like a standard corner. So you have to have the skills to do it all. And I can't say like this is one's better than that one, because it really depends on the corner. Every corner is different. Like some corners I'll sit down early. As soon as the braking bumps are down, I sit down and boom. And then other corners, I might ride the rut really, stand up really long in the rate and then in the rut and then sit down right at the end. And then even this weekend there was some sweeping sandy berms where we were railing them. We weren't even taking our feet off the pegs and just full stand up like Roxon style. So it's really having the ability to do everything. That's the deal. Develop all your skills and have all the weapons, everything you need for every challenge that the track throws at you, because the track's always going to change. Every track's going to be different. Every corner is going to be different. So I think it's great technique. I actually, even in even at some of my classes, but I was doing it this week and I was starting off in my groups. I would make everybody ride 5 laps because our zones were really small. So if it was 2 laps, it'd take them like 10 seconds. I'd do 5 laps on the pegs, insides only, just like you're talking about, riding the rut, because it's great balance technique, and it just helps. It pushes you in the right position. It gets you up on the balls of your feet, gets your hips rotated back, teaches how to use your hips, and you got to keep your arms loose. So it's such good practice. But I had them ride the bottoms like that, and then we would switch up and then ride the tops like that, and then we would drop back down and kind of go to traditional style cornering. But I'd get everyone to do it because I think it's great. And then when I went on that trail ride, the entire trail ride, that's all that technique was. I don't sit down in the woods. I felt way better standing up. I rode the entire woods up just like that, controlling the bike, and it was tight. There was tight trees in there, controlling the bike with my hips and loose arms. I like to ride like this, but I'll tell you what, there's a couple times I start tucking them in because I thought I was going to crack them on some trees. But I like to ride like this. But I think if you're a woods guy, you kind of have to be like tucking them in sometimes because there's trees out there. All right. So let's get Adam up here a little super chat love. He said, what's happening? Oh, he said, what happened to Jimmy Button? What's he up to these days? So Button's out in Arizona as far as I know. And Button's super cool. I've always had a good relationship with him. I know he was, I don't know if he's still doing sports management, but he was Nate Adams' manager forever. He worked for the Wasserman Group. I don't know if he still does, to be honest with you, but I know he moved his family out to Arizona because he was saying how California was just, the schools were horrible, he said, and they were way too expensive. And he said even if you send your kids to the private school, they were just ridiculously overpriced and they still stunk. So he was like, went to Arizona for the family to get his kids better education and not have to feel like he's getting ripped off for bad education. So, but awesome dude. See him at X Games still. He's always out there every year, and I get to hang out with him. So, love that dude. Much love to the Buttons. Also, we got Eric Davis up in here. What up, what up? I haven't seen Eric in a while. So, hopefully, I'll see you soon, brother. All right, so we got here. Let's get this up. Wood crafts. At your class in July, you mentioned you might do a class in New Jersey. Is that something that you're still thinking about? Just moved from Arkansas to Rhode Island, so Missouri's a bit far now. Yeah, so it is. This is definitely something we're talking about. Obviously, I still have friends there that I grew up racing with, and they're like, yo, when you coming out here to do a class? So it's on the radar. I just don't think I'm going to be able to do it before the cold weather comes this year, just because we're getting so close to the, when the weather breaks. So, but I told all the guys that were already asking me, maybe you could do it here, maybe you could do it there, like different tracks might give us the option to do it. And I'm open to it. They're open to it. But if it's going to happen, it's going to be probably next year, spring or summer. But it's definitely, it's being talked about 100%. And I would love to come back there and ride, to be honest with you. I have not been able to come back to New Jersey and ride for a very long time. Most of the time I used to come home, it was always for a hunting trip. And so I haven't been back there with a dirt bike for a year. So to come back home to go ride some of my local spots that I used to ride would be sweet. And to throw a school on would be even better. So yes, be on the lookout. So if it comes up, there will definitely be some talks about it on here and on my website and obviously on my social pages. So you'll definitely know about it if you were staying connected. All right, so all right. Where's V-Dub at? Everyone's saying V-Dub. Oh, here he is. I just got in. I seen everyone saying V-Dub's in the house. What up, V-Dub? Cool. V-Dub's always in the spot. All right, so here, let's get Monroe up here. He says, are there plans to expand the classes to other states and countries maybe in a few years? I'm open to it. I'm open to it. Yeah, so the thing is right now it'd be, you said states. So right now right now it's Midwest, and then we already went to California once. We're trying to get to California this winter during the cold months. New Jersey's on the radar, obviously, because I grew up there and have connects there. So already a little bit of doing some other states. And I love to teach, so if there's opportunities and it works, definitely would be open to it. And I feel like someone else was asking me about coming to their country. Wasn't it New Zealand? I think we had a guy on here a couple weeks ago talking about coming out to New Zealand. So, hey, when there's an opportunity and it works out with our schedule, could definitely happen. Big Fight said, B-Dub, wonder where you were. It's football night. I get it. If people are watching football, it's all good. Well, sweet. Well, cool, man. So we got a few minutes. It's about 7:40-ish. If anybody has any more questions? Did I miss anybody's questions? All right, thanks, Ryan. I know. Here, let me. So here, I'm seeing another question mark. So this is Brian. He said, "Thanks, Ryan. I know 450 would probably be too much for me to start out. So I've been looking at a 250 and a 252 stroke, 510, 200 pounds. I think 125 would. Do you think a 125 two-stroke would be worth looking at? I would go with the 250 four-stroke in my book. I feel like I always tell people to get four strokes. But that's just my opinion. I think they're, even for a beginner, because the 125 is just going to be like, it's going to be like, it's going to have that like really aggressive hit. And if just getting started, you could have it fall on its face and then hit really hard. And then it's really not that fast, so it's just going to make a bunch of noise and really not going to go nowhere. So I would think the 250 four-stroke would just be a bike. You could just cruise it. You could, it's got plenty of power. You can grow into it. But at the same time, you can lug a four-stroke and it'll just, it's not like the two-stroke where you kind of have to keep up in its R's or just kind of bull and wants to stall. So I think I feel like four-strokes are easier to ride. That's why I kind of point people to them. So I think that would be a great one to start on. And hey, we get these questions about bikes all the time. So I saw who better to ask about, because people are like, hey, what bike should I get? I'm coming up through the ranks. I said, hey, I figured I'm going to ask Deegan. Why? Because he has a kid coming up through the ranks, and obviously his kid's really good, but at the same time, his kid's still going from step to step to step. So this is the order that Danger Boy's taken, according to Brian. Just asked him last week. He said, obviously, he went from 50s to 60s. He's on 85s right now. He's going to race Supermini next year at Loretta's. And then they're going to bring him into the 125 class at Loretta's. Then he's going straight from the 125 class to the 250 Pro class. So he's only going to race amateur for 2 years. And then he's going to go 250 Pro. And talks of KTM signing him and talks of Yamaha. What's it called? I don't want to say Star West Yamaha, but it's not Star West. The Star Yamaha. So they're the talks of the team. But if you look at his little journey, because he started from the beginning. He's not really missing any bikes as he goes. He went from 50s to 60s to 80s to Supermini. He's a littler dude, so I had to get on the bigger bike. But then he goes to 125. Then he goes to a 254 stroke, and then eventually he'll go to a 454 stroke. So he didn't really miss anything. So it's just something to think about when you kind of can see the journey. And my journey just started on 80s, and then I went from 80s to 125s, two strokes, to 250 two strokes, straight to 450 four strokes. So my journey is a little bit different. Didn't start as young as him. And so, but anyway, it's just kind of cool to kind of hear that and see how they're doing it. Because obviously, the Deegans he's killing it. So it's good to see, what's working and stuff, and how someone who's the way I look at it, they're breeding a champion. The dude's going to be a champion. If he doesn't get hurt, he's going to win a championship, 100%. 250 class, 450 class in time. So the way they're doing it is like, they're not rushing, because the dude, he could probably step in the 125 class at Loretta's next year and win, but they're like, let's put him on Supermini. So they're really letting him get as much as experience, win as much titles, build as much confidence as they can, bring him up slow, and I think about it, he's only going to ride the 125, and then they're going to pop him on. He's not even going to ride a 254 stroke unless things change from the conversation I had with Brian last week, but he won't even ride a 254 stroke until he turns pro. He'll only ride the 125 at Loretta. So I thought it was pretty cool. All right, so let's get Cool Cap. He says, last time I raced with Deegan on the same track was around the mid-90s at Kenworthy Motocross Park. Have you ever raced that race? Where is that? I don't think I've raced it because I would have noticed the name. I don't know. No, I don't think, because I didn't actually meet Deegan until I started racing the Nationals. I think the first time I met him was High Point in Pennsylvania. It's the first time I got to meet Deegan. I met Metzger the same week, and both of those guys were there. But I don't think I've been to that place. And then when I was racing the Nationals, the farthest west I went was Millville. I didn't travel farther than Millville, Minnesota from New Jersey. It was too far. Didn't have that big of a budget. V-Dub dropping in. Late donut to help with the program. Always showing love. Yes, sir. Thanks, V-Dub. We appreciate your generous heart, the gift of generosity that V-Dub has. Always showing love week after week. So thank you, sir. And then we got Monroe here. Says, I will move to Cali. So ring ding dong. That's funny. All right, it says, what is the difference? Okay, so here's a good question. What's the difference between an 85 and a Supermini? So basically, a Supermini is an 85 with bigger wheels. So it's like a big wheel 80. They used to call them big wheels when I was growing up. Now they call them Superminis. But that's as far as I know, the only difference. I don't know in that class if you're allowed motor work or if it's like Supermini stock, Supermini mod. Obviously, in the mod class, do what you want, but not 100% sure on the motor. But all I know is, as far as bike, the wheels are bigger. Oh, Adam here is showing some big love here with the super chat. Just wanted to do it. Just wanted to outdo V-Dub. That's too funny. Thanks for running email. God bless. Well, thanks, Adams. That's too funny, dude. We appreciate the love. Appreciate all you guys. That's funny. Awesome. All right, so hey, let's get Kyle up there. He says, hey, brother, I wondered, would you be interested in coming to Maine maybe to speak or give your testimony at my church and perhaps even riding class afterwards? We can go riding. LOL. Hey, dude, I've never even been to Maine, and it's pretty cool up there from the pictures I've seen. So I'm always open to it. For booking Ronnie and Mel, if you just have your church or anyone from that might be in charge of that, email info@ronnieandmel.com. That's how we do our booking for that. And then, maybe we can do a double whammy. And then we can come speak and we can come teach up in but we were waiting for spring because I know it's freezing up there. It's probably colder there than here in the winter. So tell them to book us in the summer. Sure. Or have I been to Maine? Have we been to Maine, Big Feist? I feel like we haven't. That's way up there. Big Feist knows. All right, so we got Chris here. He says, do you ever run bar raisers on your bike or just taller bars for being a taller? I think this is an awesome question. I don't run the bar risers, and I used to run a really high bar when I did freestyle, but now that I actually have been concentrating mostly on just moto and the tracks, I actually run a low bar. I feel more comfortable. I feel like the bike turns better with a lower bar. So it's personal preference. You can do your own testing and see what you like. I am a taller guy, but I always had KX high bars on my bike forever. And then when I started doing speed and style, I felt like my bike always wanted to climb up the burn a little bit, especially we have freestyle suspension and stiff suspension on the bike, so it's harder to turn those bikes. So I started just even bringing my bars just back a little bit more, just still tall bar, but I rolled them back a little. Deegan told me to do that. He said, hey, roll your bars back a little bit, roll them back, and the bike started to turn a little bit better. Then when I kind of got like retired and was just getting more into just moto on the track, Deegan's like, hey, dude, he's like, have you ever tried a lower bar? And I'm like, no. Deegan had low bars on his bike. He said, try these. And I rode his bike, and I'm like, whoa. That felt weird at first. Like anything that you're not used to always feels weird. But at the same time, I'm like, whoa, kind of feels like his bike just sets in the corners a little bit better. So went out and got a low set of bars, did some testing, and I come to find out that I thought the bike did turn better with a lower bend bar. And like I said, I always try to run my bars even in line with the fork. So if this was your fork and you're looking from the side, I try to put the bar like that. So not rotate the bar above the fork, but kind of put it like this or slightly back. But I think the middle's perfect. And that way your hands aren't above the forks. They're kind of in line with the forks. If you rotate your bars far forward, they kind of put your hands above the forks. And it puts your bars in a weird position. And personally, I think the bike doesn't turn as good. So that's a good question. Oh, I missed one?
Did you miss Tanner's question?
Did I miss Tanner? Where's Tanner at?
I think you...
Do you remember what it was? Because I'll never find it. Tanner.
I can just read it.
All right, here. Tanner, we're getting you up here. Mel's hooking it up. No.
Oh. He said, thanks for helping Tanner this weekend, but what did you take away from this weekend in Oklahoma City? MX or Faith? What did you take away?
What did I take away?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. So,
well, I got the
dog. All right. So what did I take away from Oklahoma camp? I took home a dirty bike with all this red mud on it. I rushed home. I tried to get it home so fast because I'm like, this thing's gonna stain my pretty white bike. And I made it home. Mel's on it. She'll tell you. I made it home in like 20 minutes just to wash the bike. I was dedicated. I'm like, I ain't let my bike stain with all this red dirt. But no, FCA camp in general is awesome. You always meet good people. I just enjoy being there. It's like two of the things I'm most passionate about. I love Jesus, I love the Bible, and I love Moto. And you get to come together for 3 days and do both. So I'm just trying to think, like, what probably touched me the most? I mean, hey, I'll be honest with you guys right now. I haven't had a moment in worship in a long time. Like, sometimes when I worship, I feel the Lord's presence, and He'll just touch me, and I just will gently weep for no reason. And to me, I feel like, man, that's the presence of God. And not that you're not weeping because you're sad, you're not weeping because you're bummed out about something. I think you just weep because you're just in awe of how good God is, and it has some type of effect in your heart that causes you to weep. And I had a moment like that. So it was actually, and I remember just thinking, because I haven't had one of those in a long time, but I love those moments because you don't get them all the time. But when I do get them, I wish they would just last forever. I'm like, oh my God, like I love feeling the presence of God. And I had one of those. So I'm going to say that was special. And it was just a reminder of like, man, Lord, like I love being close to you and feeling you. So thank you for touching me in that little brief moment of worship. So that was awesome. So that was definitely a moment. But other than that, I met this dude, Jesse, who was he was a local pro rider. I got to hang out with him. And I think we got to exchange numbers. So looking forward to just getting to know him a little bit better. So got to meet some new friends. And dude rips. I wish I could tell you his last name, but it starts with a B. But some of you guys might know him because I know he raced a national and stuff. But it's just fun riding with new people and meeting new people. And hearing his testimony, he shared his testimony with me. So awesome. Iron sharpens iron as one man sharpens another is what the Bible tells us. So it's always good to get around believers and encourage one another, share your testimony, share your stories, and just build each other up. So I enjoyed that, and that's kind of I felt like me and him had a little connection right off the bat. So looking forward to hanging with him. He said he might be up here in the Midwest or up here in Kansas in the near future. All right, I answered that question. All right, so we got Trent right here. It says, when I started racing desert, I was 14 years old, and I went from riding 1979 Yamaha 175 to a 1999 Honda XR600. That's a big jump, huh? Have you ever done any desert racing? I have actually never done any desert racing. I've done a lot of desert riding living out in Cali, but I've never raced it. I've actually had a couple opportunities because Cameron Steele and Ryan Hagee and Ox and all those guys used to go do like this. It was called like Rip to the Tip, I think it was called. It was like a desert race. They did it every year. And I actually never took them up on it. They invited me a couple times and I never went. But looks fun. All right, so 110. So here we go. Nobody's saying 110cc motor on a Supermini. I think it's an 85, to be honest with you. I think it's the same motor, and I can find out the answer to this question really quick because one of my buddies that comes to my class every month rides this. No, it's an 85. I'm almost positive because he rides the class every month. So I think it's 85. Maddox is on. He has a Supermini and a regular 85, and I think. Wait, did VW do another one? Or is this the same one? You guys are going head toe to toe. It says, awesome job, Adam. We both know it goes a great call. So, hey, thank you either way. I don't know if it's the first one or second one, but I think it's awesome. You guys showing love. Yes, always going to a great cause. We hope that we can put out good content for you guys that help you guys in your moto journey and in your faith journey. If you don't know, me and my wife run a page called Ronnie and Mel. And we share our faith, we share the Bible. We have our testimonies on there. Neither of us came from a church family, but we both became believers and both try to use what God's given us to help people find him and walk with him in their daily life. That's our little slogan. So if you want to hear more about our stories, our faith in the Bible, if you're just interested, check our page out. We try to give, really simple, easy steps. We try to figure what would have helped us 10, 15 years ago when we were brand new believers. So we did a whole series, Bible for Beginners, how to pray. Now we got relationship stuff. We got the gospel series. We try to, and we just keep doing it. Try to do a video every week. And hopefully it can help some people out there. I know it's done. It's helped me and my wife a ton in life as we came to faith. All right, so I'm seeing my buddy's name here, so I want to get this up here before we run out of time. Got a few minutes left. So this is Paulie. Paulie? It says, I was just curious if you stay in touch with Ryan Reese. God bless you, bro. Yes, me and Ryan text and talk all the time. I was actually recently calling him. I had some questions about merch and stuff because obviously the Whosoevers is a ministry that is completely funded on their merchandise. And me and Mel have our own merchandise, Mark Collective. So I had some questions about merch stuff. So I was just actually talking to him, trying to figure out, find the best screen printers and see who they use. So we've always been, he has a crazy testimony. You hear his testimony. So we've always been really good friends. And I've always kept in touch. And he's a funny dude. So much love to Ryan Reese and his pops. Raul Reese, love hearing him teach. Awesome dude. We all got to hang out. Me, him, and Big Fi. So check that out. Me, Ryan, Raul Reese, and my dad all went to Hawaii one year for Father's Day. So it was pretty cool to go out, hang out in Hawaii. Took our dads out there and kicked it. It was pretty sweet. So here we go. It says, what is the FCA camp? I just heard about it when you were talking to Tanner. All right, so FCA camp. So FCA is Fellowship Christian Athletes. And they're in every type of sport you can think of. They're, basketball, baseball, wrestling, everything. And they do motocross. So they have multiple schools throughout the year in different states. And they're normally like 5-day camps where you'll come and, you'll be put into a group. And then obviously there's tons. Normally there's like 70 people. They're usually really big. Get in a nice little small group. They'll have a Devo in the morning, you'll go ride all day, break for lunch, ride again, and then they'll have a time of worship, they'll have a message, and then they'll have small groups afterwards, and you'll do that for about 5 days, and they just you get coaching for riding, and then you just talk about the Bible and talk about Jesus, and then you hang out, fellowship, pray. It's really cool. So you can check them out at FCA Motocross, I believe is the website, and this year with the COVID, I know their schedule was really not what it normally is, but I'm sure they'll be back on schedule next year. And they're just great people. Everyone that runs it, everyone that I've met there and worked with through the years, awesome people, and great camp. So I highly recommend anybody who wants to go check out one of their camps to go check it out. And they always bring in good coaches. Trey's normally there. He was only there for a day this year because he had to go to Fox Raceway. But normally Trey Kennard's usually there teaching all the time. Robbie Smith was actually at his motocross training facility, another great coach. So lots of good guys. So anyway, check them out, FCA Motocross. All right, so we're winding down again. See, these guys are going. So wait, he says what? V-Dub, I have no idea where this money goes. Just hope it helps Twitch with getting a much needed facelift. He's ripping on Twitch tonight. That's too funny. I'm gonna tell Twitch. All right, so V-Dub. He's going hard right now. V-Dub dropped a hundo. He said, heck, I would donate for that for sure. These guys are I'm telling Twitch, I'm like, yo, like I'll have to give it all to Twitch. We're like, yo, they donated $150 plus last night for you to get a facelift. That's too funny. You guys are doing them dirty. All right. Anything else? Everybody's cracking on V-Dub. V-Dub versus Adam Bennett. No, are you? Are you guys still doing like, no, there's no way you guys are. These like real? You guys are going hard. He said, no more, please let me win. I'm a loser in life and I have never won anything. And now I have $16 left in my bank account. Haha, for real. You guys are killing me. That's too funny though. All right. We're calling it a tie. That's enough. A tie. But thank you guys. That's awesome. But call it a tie. He says, yo, Ron, I remember from being back in the day in New Egypt. There you go. Good old days. Do you still talk hair? That's a good question. So Tom Britton, he's from New Jersey, obviously. So New Egypt, New Jersey was a local track. So actually, I've raced my very first race there in 1980. It was 88 Feist or 89? It was 88, huh? And I looped out on the start and I cried. I remember. Went straight off the back and then I bent my subframe and the back tire or back fender was standing up like this. So good memories of New Egypt. But yes, me and Joel still keep in touch. Not as much, but more Instagram. Like we'll comment on each other's pages or laugh about stuff. And some of the times I'm home, I'll hit him up and he'll come down, I'll go there. But I need to connect with Joel more. That dude, me and him were great friends growing up, racing together. I need to connect with him more, but awesome dude. I follow him on Instagram, so I feel like, you know how it is. You feel like you see everybody anyway because you follow him. Watch these kids grow up on Instagram. So, all right, yeah, Powerline Park, that's the spot. 88. That was Sleepy Hollow? Oh, see? No, I think I looped out at New Egypt, too. I think I did double loop outs. I remember crashing off the start there. Or maybe it was just I got beat by the 65, and I was mad, remember? The 65 smoked me. I think it was a stagger start, too, and he still beat me. I was so slow. All right, guys. It is 8:03. And thanks for hanging out. Thank you guys for all the questions. Man, it was a good, fun night. Love doing this with you guys. We'll be back next week. And V-Dub and you guys are amazing, man. Thank you guys. Brian, Kyle, everybody for hanging out. Adam, for all the generosity. You guys are sweet, dude. And we'll see you guys next week. Stay tuned for the next one here on the Feisst Live. Peace out, yo.